Hey guys, welcome back to Police 10-8 Talk. Got my partner Bosco with us, and
Hey.
got Melissa behind camera. Thank you very much, by the way. If you've kept up with us, we haven't released a new video in like it's been like
a month.
It's been like 5 weeks now.
Yeah.
We've been busy. I've recently retired from 20 years full-time LEO, so I've been in the process of hunting a part-time job, and everybody's had problems with allergies, so we're back. We're going to have some pretty decent stuff coming up for you in the future. So for today, Bosco got a 43X that he somehow managed to not fire yet till we could get out here to do a video. So give us just a sec. We're going to move the camera in, go over some quick specs with it, show you a couple things about the magazines and whatnot, and then we're finally going to adjourn over to the range and ring it out. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Hey, here we are at the tailgate. Just going to run over some quick specs I printed out from the Glock website. The Glock 43, which is on the right side, has an overall length of 6.26 inches. The 43X has an overall length of 6.5 inches. Slide length is the same between the two of them at 6.06. The width of the slide on the Glock 43 is 1.06 inches. The slide width on the 43X is 1.10 inches. I'm sorry, that's overall width. The actual slide width according to Glock is the same on both at 0.87 inches. They're both chambered for 9mm. Both feature the safe action trigger. The 43X has a magazine capacity of 10 rounds. The barrel length on both models is the same at 3.41. The weight on the 43 without a magazine is 16.23 ounces. On the 43X, it's 16.40 ounces. Weight with loaded magazine on the Glock 43 is 20.64 ounces, and weight on the 43X with a loaded magazine is 23.07 ounces. That's the technical specs. Directly off the Glock website. As you can see, get them centered up here so you can get them there. There you can see the grip length difference. Another thing about them is like here's the 43. If I take a magazine from this is the 43X. If I take a magazine from my 43, you notice it doesn't work. Same as if I take the 43 and take a 43X magazine. So there's no compatibility magazine-wise. You can tell this magazine body is definitely wider. So Bill, is there anything else you want to point out before we shoot?
Just one thing is, another thing is too is holsters for the if you have a holster for 43, it's generally still going to fit the 43X.
Here's my holster.
His holster, which is 443, fits no problem. This is actually my holster I had for my 43. Fits no problem. You may have problems if you have a really tightly boned holster. But if you have the adjustment screws, you're definitely going to have to readjust a little bit for the 43X because of the fact the slide is slightly thicker. And I mean, it's like millimeters, but it's enough to where you may have to take this out a little bit and readjust your holster a little bit for it.
And I've seen on other YouTube channels where if they have one where the fit's not quite right,
yeah,
they're backing the retention off putting the handgun in the holster and then hitting it with a hair dryer or a heat gun.
Yeah.
So you can manipulate it a little bit.
Yeah, but it's such a slight difference in most holsters you're going to have, because every holster I had for my 43 fits my 43X no problem. But you may have some issues with some holsters. If they're really like finely tuned holsters, you may have an issue. But most holsters are going to fit both. But there is a slight difference between the two. So you might have an issue there. But other than that, they're pretty much, they're very close. They use the same recoil spring. The barrel, I'm not sure if this is the same because this slide's a little bit wider. The barrel's probably going to be different because the locking block's probably going to be slightly bigger.
Why don't you talk about the difference in the magazines?
Yeah, the difference between magazines. This is, of course, this is considered. Glock is calling it. I've heard it called the silver slimline model. I don't know. It's got a silver slide. I don't know if this is going to be a series they're going to come out with or whatever. But it's considered a Gen 5, one of the newer Gen 5 Glocks. That's the reason why it's got the orange follow, which I do kind of like that because what it does is it makes sure you can plainly tell that your gun is empty, which is actually a really good idea. So anything with a Gen 5 Glock is going to have that orange follower in it. But of course this is a 10-rounder. And that's of course a 6-rounder for that, but of course you can get extensions. Another thing also too is availability for magazines. Spare mags right now is almost impossible. It's real hard to get them.
Here's a good comparison for you. This is a Glock 43 magazine with a Tango Vickers Tango Down +2. So you can see the lengths.
But that's 10, that's 8. So you still get 2 more rounds at it's exactly the same.
And then I have another magazine I can use for comparison. This is the standard 6-round magazine for the Glock 43
with the +4.
With the Fab Defense +4 extension on it. So yeah.
10.
Yeah.
But like I said, availabilities for these spare mags is extremely hard. They're extremely hard to get right now. I've seen them listed on eBay for like $75. I don't think I need one quite that bad. Nah. But the availability on these magazines, since they're kind of so new, it's probably going to take a couple months before these readily become available for extra sale, which of course I'm going to pick up 2 or 3 more mags myself. But that's one thing that you're going to find out real quick is you get 2 with the gun. But availability for extra ones is it's gonna probably take a couple months before they get enough from getting the pipeline where they'll be like a standard Glock mag around $35, $30 or so. I'm sure Gun Mag Warehouse, I'm sure in Miami, good Florida-owned business. Gun Mag Warehouse, I bet good money they'll have magazines for this too, and I'm sure ETS magazines. I guarantee they're probably gonna be making magazines for this 43X. I'm sure very shortly.
Well, guys, we're gonna load up some magazines and start shooting this thing. Just kind of as a sidebar, this is our new morale patches that Bosco designed, and I had them dealt with Tactical Gear Junkie. Sent them the file, and they turned it into a nice Velcro back morale patch. Just thought I'd throw that out there real quick. So we're going to load up, and we'll be back and do some shooting.
So stand by.
Well, we've adjourned over to the range to have the inaugural firing of Bosco's 43X. Being a personal huge fan of the 43, I actually have 2 of them now, thanks to Bosco. As you can see, you get a good full grip. When gripping it, there's no overhang like there is with my standard 43. So they've addressed that with the 43X. So here we go, out of the box, never been fired, cleaned, or anything. So let's see what I do like the forward serration since I'm a big gripper up in this area without getting past the muzzle. So let's see what we got here. was just throwing those everywhere. Well, Bill's going to come in. He allowed me first shots.
Yeah.
Shooting the high and left.
High and left, okay. I'm going to go in and put some rounds through it. I'm actually going to be shooting tall ammo 115 grain, so let's see how it does.
And I was shooting Federal Syntec 115s.
So we're going to go up, look at the targets, and give you final impressions. And this is definitely going to be a first shots video. So stand by, and we'll give you our impressions.
Well, here we are, guys. I didn't do anything spectacular on the target with it. It felt good. Trigger felt good. I was shooting a little left, and I threw a couple of high. We were shooting at 7 yards. So it's a Glock.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not a whole lot more to be said than that. Like Bosco mentioned, this is our absolute first time handling it, firing it.
Yep.
I can see it being very popular.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, what do you think?
I love it. Having that full grip definitely makes a difference. I mean, for me, you know.
Oh, it's a difference over me having to do a mag extension.
Yeah, it's definitely a difference between the regular 43. I love to get my hands on a 48 too. The other silver slimline Glock, which has a slightly longer barrel. I believe it's .75, almost an inch difference. It's about the same size as the Glock 19 barrel. I'd love to get my hands on one of those too. But so far, the 43X, I'm total kudos. It's just going to take me a little while to get used to shooting it. But
and I did notice one thing. I had put it in my inside the waistband holster and placed it where I normally carry. And I did notice I had just a wee bit of an imprint right off the back corner of it. That's something that can be adjusted with just slightly shifting your holster. So if you get one, just be aware of that additional length. You may have to adjust your method or where you carry it. So guys, thanks a lot. You can follow us on YouTube, Full 30, Gun Streamer,
Instagram,
gunpowder.tv, Instagram and Facebook. Be sure you give us a like and subscribe.
just remember to be safe, watch your six.